Did you know there's one mineral essential to longevity? It's magnesium. And not just any magnesium. The most effective form is stabilized magnesium ions. Introducing REMAG by Dr. Carolyn Dean. Experience the benefits of stabilized ionic magnesium and support your health today. Visit RNAreset.com and use offer code MIRACLE10 for 10% off your first order. Visit RNAreset.com and use offer code MIRACLE10 for 10% off your first order.
It's a common sense recap of the big stories. It's Katz and Cosby on 77 WABC.
And we are back here on Katz and Cosby. Well, Joe Biden, he is still president, and he's going on a spending spree. He's spent, it was a couple, mega millions of dollars, going towards EV companies and a whole bunch more, trying to get it all out there the door before President Trump comes in. And joining us is Steve Moore, host of More Money on WABC on Saturdays. Steve, can any of this be reverted? Like, can Trump on day one say, let's bring the money back?
Yeah, good to be with you guys. And by the way, happy Thanksgiving. I've never seen anything like this. They're trying to spend every dime, every quarter, every penny they can get their hands on them. But we're talking about billions and billions of dollars that should be suspended. After all, we lost $2 trillion last year. We ran a $2 trillion deficit. But in the last, 50 days or so before Biden finally leaves the White House, every one of his cabinet agency officials is trying to spend every single penny they can find. I just think it's outrageous and unpatriotic and financially incredibly irresponsible.
I mean, that company, that automobile company, the EVs, is only losing, they're putting up a $6 billion guarantee, and they're only losing $1 billion every 13 weeks. So at what point... are you allowed to say pissing away the money?
And by the way, I was just looking at the amount, John. It's $6.6 billion. This is what he wants to give them away. I mean, this is not chump change.
Yeah. I mean, and look, his agenda has been repudiated by the voters. So don't spend it. Let Trump come in and do his own thing. I mean, and by the way, I have to tell you, Trump is going to be ready on day one with hundreds of executive orders to repeal a lot of this spending, Rita, and a lot of the regulations that are, so much handicapping our businesses. But you better strap up, because as soon as he gets into office, we're going to do a 180-degree turn in terms of the direction of this country. And that means less illegal immigration. It means more growth for the economy, and lower deficits, bringing down the incredible debt that we have in this country, which is like a cancer cell.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Vivek and Elon Musk going in there, with a blowtorch cutting spending.
Did you see? I'm famous. Did you know that? I'm famous because Elon Musk tweeted me out this week because I had said all the federal offices are vacant. Maybe we could just fire those people. They're not going to. John, you're a businessman. If everybody didn't show up for work, what would you do with these?
They
people?
wouldn't have a job next week. Forget about 2 years from now.
Yeah, next hour.
Right. Well.
So wait, what did when he tweeted you out? Did he put hashtag great idea, or what did he do?
He just said that this shows what he'd been saying, that the federal office buildings, you go into them, as I said on Fox News, and there's nobody there, nobody home. They're all, they are at home. That's the problem. They're not on the job. Only less than 10% of federal workers are working 40 hours a week on the job. And I'm with John Katsimedes. That we can't force them to show up for work, but if they're not going to show up to work, they should be fired.
How did the old Chinese laundry say? No tiki, no laundry.
There you go. And by the way, the fact that nobody even knows that these people aren't working tells us that what they're doing is not very important to the 99% of Americans.
Yeah, they're not missed. Right. Exactly. So now how much of this can Trump come in and say, okay, I'm going to revert this? And what's the amazing thing, as we've been talking about all these mass deportations, one of the arguments coming from some of these, the Democratic mayors and governors are, it's going to be too much money to round up these people. and yet if you look at the price tag of how much it's cost for even putting them up in hotels in New York, or even what we're talking about, them blowing all this money on this EV company, and yet they're complaining about how much it's going to cost to round up these people.
Well, look, I think we've got to be smart about this. I think rounding up 10 million people is probably not a very good idea. But you got to start. And
let's start with like I told the president. Start with the criminals. Get rid of the criminals.
Yeah, there are thousands upon thousands of them.
And keep out and I like what Trump is saying. If China and Mexico aren't going to help us keep these poisonous drugs out of our country that are killing our young people, Rita, then we should slap a tariff on them. And by the way, I think that will be successful I think that this is going to change their behavior. I think because Mexico and China, most of the fentanyl comes in from those two countries. We know that. It's the drug cartels. Mexico and China have to do something about it. And if they don't, they're going to get hit by this tariff. It's about time.
Yep, absolutely. And I don't understand Trudeau in Canada. I mean, I understand his ratings are down to like the 20s.
Yeah, right. Well,
he's trying to bring it to 18.
Right. I mean, you know what Canada needs? They need their version of Donald Trump.
I hear that there's one coming.
Who's that?
Oh, I don't follow Canadian politics. We have to ask John McLaughlin.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But the amazing thing is, John and Rita, is that you see Americans so confident and so upbeat, about the direction of the country. Did you know that I was telling John earlier that Trump now has a 55% approval rating? He's never had a 55% approval rating in the last 10 years. He's more popular today.
People are relieved. The common sense Democrats say, he's not that bad. Maybe we'll feel safer.
Yeah, and people are traveling. Look, it's Thanksgiving. People are traveling more, buying more gifts. They're feeling like, okay, good things are coming back.
Good things are coming, and we're going to cut taxes. We're going to reduce regulation. We're going to produce more energy. We're going to get this budget under control. We're going to, get rid of the criminal aliens that are in the country, and we're going to get rid of the fentanyl. I mean, Trump knows he's only got, realistically 2 or 3 years to get this done, and I guarantee you, we're going to hit the ground running.
Steve Moore, you better do it in the first 2 years. Don't wait for the next Congress, because you might not have the next Congress.
Yeah, well, what I told him is, Mr. President, don't do a first 100-day agenda, do a first 100-hour agenda, and I think you're going to see that.
Yeah,
thank you so much, Steve.
Happy Thanksgiving, Steve.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Guys.
You're British. Do you celebrate Thanksgiving?
It's my favorite holiday of the year.
All right, great.
Can't wait. All right, see you guys.
Thank you.
Just steps from Madison Square Garden, Macy's, and Broadway theaters, DK Restaurant is a contemporary steakhouse that boasts a sleek marble bar, deep red leather banquettes, and candlelight tables. Perfect for lunch, a drink, after work, or dinner before the big game. DK Restaurant will surely entice guests to come back for more. Go to DKRestaurantNYC.com. Call 212-695-5220.